Okay, part three of the Tractor Girl story. So if you're just joining us, it's probably best if you backtrack and catch the first two videos. There's a lot there that kind of leads up to the Tractor Girl being stranded in South Africa. Yet that's where we find her, basically flat broke with nowhere to go but home. So she leaves the Deutz with some friends, goes home to regroup. For the next 3 years, she pours herself into fundraising. She shares her stories, knocked on doors, no avail. It was 2009-ish, and the global economy had kind of tanked, and potential investors loved the idea, but they just couldn't write the check. And though she kept fighting, the adult, cynical end of the world concept kind of started hitting home pretty hard. And as she tearfully arranged to bring that tractor home in a shipping container, it kind of felt like her dream was on life support. That is, until she worked up the nerve to make one last phone call to France. So she didn't expect much. She figured she'd be lucky if she got to talk to an intern who'd politely listen and say, no. However, much to her surprise, Massey Ferguson didn't just open the door, they threw off the hinges. See, Massey has a history with Antarctica. Back in 1958, Sir Edmund Hillary took 3 TE-20 Fergusons to the South Pole. These little tractors were equipped with barely more than some aftermarket tracks and beefed up heat housers. And they actually performed incredibly well. And that was the first time that motor vehicles had ever driven on that continent. And Massey Ferguson is still very proud of that accomplishment to this day. So when this Dutch girl comes and pitches them on a second trip, well, it didn't take them all that long to go all in. So they assemble a team and they start working with her, and they pulled in their industry partners for their support and expertise. And they called the new mission Antarctica 2. So the tractor they used needed to be nimble, fairly compact, four-wheel drive with plenty of grunt and a big greenhouse. And the 5610 fit that bill perfectly. So with the tractor selected, the engineering team went to work. And they spent 2 years re-engineering this thing pretty much from top to bottom to deal with the different climate extremes. And they changed just about everything. Probably the biggest change was they converted the motor to run on jet fuel because it doesn't freeze till minus 53, whereas diesel gels at 10 to 15 degrees above zero. Anyway, they mounted a secondary fuel cell on the back. Castrol helped them with special lubricants for the driveline and the motor. Trelleborg developed some super soft floaters that would be dynamite on ice and snow, and everything else was meticulously weatherproofed. The cab got heavy-duty insulation and secondary heating system, and they swapped out the glass windows for Lexan because they were more shatter-resistant. Finally, they added a winch and a long boom on the front just in case they needed to extract themselves from a crevasse, which, spoiler alert, they actually did. The engineers finished the tractor sometime in 2014, and it was ready to go, but the team definitely wasn't. Okay, so I'll link out to the blog post I wrote about this in the video description. So if you want to see how it all wraps up, head there. Otherwise, we just posted part 4 on our profile page. So get out there and see how this story ends. It's pretty cool.